Welcome back to the Fitz Blitz here on 89.5 FM, KZCT, OzCat Radio in Vallejo. Timmy Fitz bringing you the Blitz here on January 6, 2020. We're here, folks. We made it to 2020. And the most important sports topic on my mind right now, a debate that has literally kept me awake at night or kept me from falling back asleep in the morning, as I foolishly read Twitter when I shouldn't. And that's the affiliation reduction that is planned in minor league baseball. Major League Baseball is proposing, in the upcoming renewal of their minor league affiliation professional baseball agreement, an affiliation reduction, where people have reacted like we're closing military bases. If your town's team is that much of a lifeblood of your community, it should survive. Okay? Because they're not being shut down. Note the term I used. Not elimination or contraction. It's affiliation reduction. People who deal with what we call artificial intelligence don't actually call it that. They don't say AI because they know that's not really a thing. That's not what it is. They call it machine learning, not AI. So I'm not calling this an elimination, shutting down, or contraction of teams. I'm calling it what it is, which is affiliation reduction. Okay? In MLB's proposal, more on that word choice later, of reducing the affiliation of up to 42 teams, I hear these franchises will die without MLB affiliation. They'll never survive. It's a death sentence from these billionaire owners to save a buck. Why? Why will these franchises have to instantly fold if they become unaffiliated? Why? Why will that happen? Player, coach, and trainers' salaries will apparently bankrupt these teams. They won't survive. Because that's what the big club covers. That and workers' comp, insurance. That's what will doom these franchises. Covering player, coach, and trainer salaries. Now, sure, that's pushing 350, 500 grand. That could be tough on their budgets with current salaries as they are at that level. But that means their entire product has been subsidized this whole time. And they're not a viable business. If that's the story, if they're going to fold, if they can't survive without Major League Baseball subsidizing their entire product, then how good of a business are they? Are they really a viable business if they can't survive without their entire product being subsidized by Big League Baseball? Now you see why salaries have been traditionally so low in the minors, and especially independent baseball. If these teams are so special, such a part of the fabric of these communities, that yes, may not have a big league team in their state, if they're such a fabric of that community that bring in money, they should still draw in fans just fine, right? These towns love their local baseball team. And it's the minor league franchise that puts together the goofy promotions, the firework nights, things like that we're used to about minor league baseball. That's the stuff that happens at that level anyway. People love that. But I hear the draw of seeing an affiliated low A team or rookie ball team is to see potential future big leaguers. According to John Perotto at Forbes magazine, Tyler Kepner of the New York Times, they say that Seeing that player before he was a big leaguer is the actual draw. Oh, okay. So it's not about the love of baseball in the pure hearts of these good old real Americans. It's not about the love of our pastime. It's seeing potential future big leaguers. Oh, okay. So it's still the cachet of MLB affiliation that is the draw to your entire product. It's technically still about the big leagues and their subsidization of the rosters. That is the draw. Okay. There have been big leaguers come from indie ball. And even more common is former big leaguers playing in independent baseball. And I've seen that be a big draw right here in the Bay Area. I keep hearing baseball needs the grassroots fandom. That a sport that needs to increase its popularity will be shooting itself in the foot by not having baseball in these little towns, denying people in these towns an introduction to baseball. That MLB needs baseball in these towns for survival and popularity of the sport. Well, that's not how the NFL became king, all right? It's not the number one sport right now because of all that minor league football. And before you say college football is minor league football, well, they are unaffiliated, okay? And college football came first and was way more popular than the NFL until the 1960s when TV changed the game, okay? Pro football was seen as an illegitimate bastard child of college football up until the 1950s. Definitely second fiddle the NFL was to the college game until the 50s. That 1958 Baltimore Colts, New York Giants NFL championship. That's the moment where things start to change. That's when the NFL got in a tie with baseball and began this national empire that they are today. National TV. Not the NFL's version of the Appalachian League. Okay? Not minor league football. That was not what got the NFL to take over baseball for our most popular sport. Not minor league football. So why is it? Why is it that this affiliation reduction is being framed as an affront to small town America? Because minor league baseball owners are the same as big league owners. They care about money. First and foremost, that's what matters. These aren't mom and pop ownerships. They're still sports franchise management enterprises, businesses like in the big leagues, who often own more than one franchise on multiple levels of the minor leagues. But they've got the PR angle to play. They can tug on America's heartstrings that they're just the lowly old minor leagues with these small town baseball owners. Aw, shucks, they can't survive without baseball sending us players. Oh, Lord, that big evil big league is going to take Daddy's farm away. Oh, Lord. Come on. The publication Baseball America, one of the first to report on this proposal. Its ownership includes owners of minor league baseball teams. To their credit, they were more than willing to divulge that info. But these minor league owners have started a public war of words. They've started a PR war, knowing they can play the little guy card. Okay? That's what it is. They've got writers willing to shape the narrative for them, knowing most Americans won't look into it deeper. Just like we do with our political, economic, and health news in this country, we won't really do our own research on it. And just like the news media on those subjects, the lazy reporting just mimics previous articles that have preceded it, and they run with it. From Commissioner Manfred of Major League Baseball, his quote on this: Between the negotiating committees, the dialogue has gotten a little more positive in the most recent set of meetings. In contrast, I think some of the activities that have been undertaken by the leadership of minor league baseball have been polarizing in terms of the relationship with the owners. I think they've done damage to the relationship with Major League Baseball, and I'm hopeful that we will be able to work through that damage in negotiating and reaching a new deal. You know, when people publicly attack a longtime partner after they've committed to confidentiality in the negotiating process, usually people don't feel good about that. MLB has assured every public official who has contacted us that Major League Baseball will preserve organized baseball in a compelling, fan-friendly format in every American city that currently has an affiliate. End quote. This was all supposed to be a starting point in negotiations, a proposal. And instead of ending up at, say, some sort of a compromise, maybe just removing non-MLB owned rookie ball, you know, the Appalachian League and the Pioneer League, from that affiliated umbrella, and maybe giving some low A and even double A teams a chance to upgrade their facilities or maybe even be eased out of the affiliation. Instead of aiming for that kind of a compromise, minor league owners have thrown an all or nothing tantrum over money. Exactly what they're accusing big league owners of being overly focused on. These minor league owners don't want their franchises to lose value. That's all it's about. Not about bringing new fans into baseball or saving teams in these communities, because these aren't mom and pop ownerships, okay? They care about their franchise value, and they've started a PR war over it. And they've got the advantage in that. Baseball's had their stupid Save America's Pastime thing about wanting to control minor league salaries with government interference. They've, played people with their options and service time control. And, baseball is coming from a PR look where they are seen as the evil big guy in comparison to the minors. So they've got this advantage, minor league owners do. From David Hallstrom on Twitter. Burlington got the Vermont Reds/Mariners at the expense of Lynn, Massachusetts. They lasted 5 seasons before moving to Canton, Akron. The Lake Erie Monsters came in 1994 at the expense of Niagara Falls. So minor league owners are a lot like major league owners, just a minor version. End quote. Thank you, David. These minor league owners pilfer towns for stadiums, too. Just like the big leagues, they care about their bottom line more than anything else. Just like the big leagues. And teams fold even with Major League Baseball subsidization. Even with that affiliation. Some have terrible attendance that are subsidized by Major League Baseball. The Bristol Pirates draw less than 600 people a game. That's not going to get a guy ready for the big leagues. The Pioneer Leagues had teams come and go with the affiliated umbrella. One of the leagues that will be shut down from the affiliation, will be removed from it by this proposal. But here's the thing. Who really needs advanced rookie ball in Orem, Utah anymore for player development? And even that Orem team moved from Provo, Utah in 2005. There used to be an affiliated team in Casper, Wyoming from 2001 to 2011. Guess what's there now? An independent team. The Butte Copper Kings, named for the once powerful owners of the copper mines of Butte, Montana, began play in the Pioneer League in 1978 as a co-op team with players from the Phillies, A's, Mariners, and Rangers, as well as a few free agents. Beginning in 1987, the franchise had been operated by Silver Bow Baseball. It was sold in 1996 to the Gold Clang Group in a move to stem conflict of interest issues when Silver Bowl head Jim McCurdy became president of the Pioneer League in 94. Silver Bowl had attempted to sell the franchise in 94 to investors from California, but that deal fell through when it was determined that Silver Bowl owned a lesser percentage of the franchise than it had claimed to own. That's real squeaky clean mom and pop type businesses here, let me tell you. Following the 2000 season, the team relocated to Casper, Wyoming as the Casper Rockies. It was renamed the Ghost before the 08 season and affiliated with Colorado. On January 3rd, 2011, Casper Professional Baseball Club, LLC, announced the sale of the team to Monfort Investment Group, a group headed by Colorado Rockies general partners. So on October 17th, 2011, Grand Junction city officials unanimously approved a lease agreement with the team, making Suplizio Field, built in 1949, home to the newly renamed Grand Junction Rockies, formerly in Casper. Okay, and these are the glorious histories and traditions we're supposed to be preserving with these towns that apparently love their team so much? Get out of here. Come on. The Grand Junction Rockies would be removed from the affiliated umbrella under the current proposal. And because they are owned by the Rockies, they're not fighting it. You see the difference when teams are owned, which is rare. There aren't that many. But when they're owned by the big league club, they're not tripping off of this. It's the ones who need the roster sent to them for their own business that are. Monfort, of this Monfort group, said, "I'm in favor of restructuring minor league baseball and hopefully getting a better situation for the development process and a better situation for the communities where we have minor league baseball. It's the whole development process that needs to be relooked," said former Rockies general manager Bob Gebhardt, now a special assistant for the Cardinals. Though the last 10 years, organizations have continued to add additional farm teams, thinking that more players that you have in the system, the better chance you might have in a few developing. The downside is, I think we've probably gone a little overboard. Recently, there were 126 minor league teams. Now there's 160. We may have gone a bit too far. The reduction of the Rockies farm system from 6 teams to 4 won't hurt the big club, Monfort said. He argues that by concentrating the club's analytics and scouting and development on a few players, the Rockies will be more efficient. It took the big club, it took the parent club Rockies stepping in to settle down the volatility of this Grand Junction, previously Casper franchise. Grand Junction manager Jake Opitz said MLB's ideas regarding restructuring have some merit. He says you're trying to develop players, and you go to some different facilities, and you can't even hit in the batting cage. It's so run down, and there are holes in the nets. That type of stuff needs to improve. And the travel can get really tough, because that's when you're talking a 13-hour one-way bus ride from Grand Junction to Great Falls, Montana for a 3-game series. That wears you out. The majority of minor league teams, again, not owned by the majors. Grand Junction Rockies, one of them that is, though. MLB is looking at a cost savings with reorganization between $600,000 and $1 million per year per team in salary expenses. That figure doesn't include other subsidies and bonuses that rack up the total tab to about $500 million, according to MLB. Monfort, however, stressed that the owners aren't looking to contract as a monetary move, but rather as an effort to overhaul a system and possibly increase pay for minor leaguers. Player salaries have not changed in a long time, he said. If we go from 220 players to 150 in a system, those 150 guys will be making more. On the flip side, there are places with teams like Bluefield, West Virginia, /Virginia, since the stadium straddles the state line. They've been there since 1937. They had the longest run of being affiliated with one team, 53 seasons with the Orioles, before switching over to the Blue Jays in 2011. But Bowen Field at Peters Park was built in 1939. It was last renovated in 1975 after a fire. The seats are hand-me-downs from Anaheim Stadium and were installed in the 90s. You get the feeling this might be one of these substandard stadiums MLB is talking about. It is on the affiliation removal list. Here's an example of a big league team causing changes at the AA level in the Southern League, where baseball is proposing affiliation and league changes, and it all worked out. Okay, just like Grand Junction. The Greenville, South Carolina Braves, after the 04 season, the parent club in Atlanta transferred the team to Pearl, Mississippi, where it's now known as the Mississippi Braves. The Braves cited an outdated stadium that did not meet current standards and the city of Greenville's unwillingness to create a sufficient financial package to build a new stadium as the cause of the move. With the Greenville Braves out, the Greenville Bombers, formerly the Capital City Bombers, Class A South Atlantic League affiliate of the Red Sox, moved into the old Braves Stadium in 05. In 06, a brand new stadium located in downtown Greenville, Fluor Field at the West End, opened up, and the Bombers changed their name to the Greenville Drive. The Bombers had sought assistance from the city of Columbia, where they were before, as the Capital City team. Efforts to construct a stadium to be shared with the University of South Carolina. University of South Carolina, the Gamecocks, D1, big program. The deal with the stadium there fell through because South Carolina's baseball team, the university demanded the Bombers pay $6 million in fees up front. What? Following this, the Bombers owner Rich Mozingo sought to relocate the team. In 05, the Bombers relocated from Columbia to Greenville, South Carolina. So following the move, the Bombers played their home contest in Greenville Municipal Stadium, the one the Braves wanted out of, then moved to the new stadium on the West End. Stadium was named Ballpark of the Year in 06. Ballpark of the Year in 06 by ballparks.com. The stadium shares the dimensions of the parent club's Major League Park, Fenway Park. Boasts its own green monster, complete with a manual scoreboard and a pesky pole. That worked out great, right? And all these minor league changes will make your head spin. Good luck keeping track of all this, okay? But when the MLB club has stepped in, it steadied the organization. As the Braves got what they wanted in Pearl, Mississippi, the Bombers stepped in after Greenville realized it needed a new park and got a replica of Fenway. That's with the big clubs stepping in. But the minor leagues are pulling on heartstrings and capitalizing on how most Americans don't understand how the affiliated minors works and what the big leagues pay for. And they're shaping the narrative against the evil, big, heartless big leagues. From Mark Armour's Pursuit of Pennants, we remind you how we got here. The early 1920s, Branch Rickey, field manager of the then low-budget Cardinals, got tired of the bigger budgets outspending him. In fact, one of the first big-dollar purchases of the time, at this time, the New York Giants paid the San Francisco Seals $75,000 for outfielder Jimmy O'Connell. I think I just like that. The New York Giants getting players from the Seals is poetic to me. I love it. With few exceptions, if an 18-year-old was not ready for the major leagues, he signed with an independent minor league team. Major league teams in this era acquired players by either buying or drafting them from the minor leagues. Draft rules changed over time, but payments to minor league teams was always a significant expense. So Branch Rickey's solution to this cost? Having some sort of control of their minor league clubs. By the mid-20s, the Cardinals owned controlling interest in Fort Smith, Arkansas, Houston, and Syracuse. People wonder why Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis, named commissioner in 1921, and a staunch foe of farm systems, didn't work harder to break up these budding affiliations. Most likely because the most respected people in baseball thought it was a silly idea that would fail of its own accord. Pittsburgh's Barney Dreyfuss, Detroit's Frank Navin, close confidants of Landis, told the commissioner it would be financially destructive to have a farm system. John McGraw, the Giants' respected manager, told owner Charles Stoneham not to waste his money on a farm system. So Landis probably decided it wasn't worth his time. Meanwhile, Branch Rickey's farm system proved highly successful, turned one of baseball's most hapless franchises into one of the best run and consistently competitive. Throughout the 1920s, Rickey and the Cardinals stood alone. As late as 1931, there were still only a handful of minor league teams controlled by a major league team. So we're going a decade plus now. Rickey's alone in his farm system thinking. As long as teams could only control a 40-man roster, there was a limit to how much teams were willing to invest in minor league teams. Before the farm system could truly take hold, the rules needed to be relaxed. Two clubs in particular led the fight for this: the Cardinals and the Yankees. Not coincidentally, the best run and most successful teams in the history of the major leagues. So people thought this concept of the farm system was ridiculous. But the most successful franchises were on the forefront of that type of player development innovation. Like the Astros are now. I know, the cold-hearted evil Astros want to streamline the minors. But there's no reason Major League Baseball should be forced to stick with a model that isn't necessary anymore. There's no reason they shouldn't be allowed to realign their affiliation with these leagues based on geography, size of ballparks, and attendance. The owners in towns with these minor league teams act like Major League Baseball is robbing them of something they would have without Major League Baseball. But the reason you have these teams is because MLB agreed to affiliate with them. Thought they needed them? They were really doing you a favor. They needed a place to develop players that they now know they don't need anymore. The big leagues choosing to have these affiliations is why you have a team to begin with. They can choose to end their affiliation as well. The big leagues could roll with the 28 franchises that these various parent clubs own. Of all those minor league teams, only 28 are actually owned by a big club. They do own 2 levels of rookie ball. And they could start affiliating with current indie ball clubs 2021 and be all set. Real talk. Really don't need you. They'd be good to go. And you want to make threats? Minor League Baseball? These minor league baseball owners want to make threats? You want to make demands instead of negotiating compromise? These minor league owners prop these teams up knowing they don't have to pay for the actual product. It's easy for them to tell the big leagues keep sending them players when they're not paying for them. These minor league team owners will be compensated for the value lost by the franchises when they become independent or dream league teams or summer collegiate. They bought affiliated franchises. I get that. And again, it would be better if MLB wasn't blowing smoke up our butts about these facilities being the biggest issue. But they can see They don't need this many levels anymore. Big league players who have gone through the minors can tell you that. They'll tell you nothing can prep a guy for the bigs like playing in front of thousands of people. They'll also tell you you can't get from high-tech training facility straight to the majors. But they'll also tell you there's a lot of filler. A lot of filler in the minors. And that maybe we don't need a 40-round draft anymore. Today's scouting should keep players from being missed or slipping into the 30th round if they've got big league talent. That's where we are now in the way we scout. It's not like it used to be. Or they'll be seen in these dream or independent leagues. They'll be undrafted free agents, free to choose their path. It's these same 35th round draft pick guys who will be at these franchises like they are now. It's time for top prospects to not have to toil in rookie ball anymore, or even low A. Maybe Joey Bart should be further along already. That will certainly be a factor in baseball, keeping more Kyler Murrays in the NFL, if you don't have to go to advanced rookie ball in Orem, Utah. People thought the format and the concept of the farm system was ridiculous when it first started in the 20s. Maybe we're doing that again now. Maybe we're doing that again in this change in our minor league system. Maybe we overreact to the innovation that needs to happen. That'll do it for this episode of The Blitz. Be sure to hit me up on Twitter at TimmyFitz76. And go to the Fitz Blitz YouTube page as well. Talking Schmidt coming up next here on OzCat. That'll do it. Catch you next time. Peace.